The Prince George Losers, Cougars, have had a long legacy of failure in the WHL. But first, to trace this legacy of failure, we have to go all the way back to Victoria, starting with the birth of the M's in 1988-89. You make the playoffs, then lose to Lethbridge in the first round. Congratulations, Cougars! You set a new record for incompetency with only 5 wins! You missed the playoffs. You missed the playoffs. Again. You missed the playoffs for the 3rd year in a row.
The Cougars, well, right now they're the Doormat in the Western Hockey League.
Make that 4 years with no playoffs. You will find a new home in Prince George, BC. Perhaps you'll shed that habit of missing the playoffs as well? Nope! Another year without the playoffs. You actually thought you could make the playoffs this year?
You stupid.
You made the playoffs! And you made it to the conference final! You then get swept by the Thunderbirds. You return to the playoffs, and then get promptly swept by the world's saddest Italian restaurant in the 2nd round. The good news is that you didn't lose in the 2nd round. You lost to Seattle in the 1st. Hey, this time you actually managed to win a game against the Chiefs. Too bad you still lost the series. You then rebound by losing to Portland in the 1st round. You lose to the eventual WHL champion, Kootenay Ice, in the 1st round. You get bitch slapped by your old pals in Seattle again in the 1st round. You turn back the clock 7 years and miss the playoffs. You miss the playoffs, in which a year the WHL has all the attention of Western Canada. You return to the playoffs, only to get curb stomped by the Giants. You return to the conference final, only to lose to the fucking Giants again. You return from that devastating loss, and miss the playoffs entirely. The Giants welcome you back to the playoffs by kicking the shit out of you. You can't recover from the beating and miss the playoffs again. This time it's the Rockets' turn to beat the shit out of you. WHL returns to the city of Victoria with the Royals. You respond by missing the playoffs entirely. Last year was a real bummer. You respond to this heartbreak by missing the playoffs again. Last year was a real bummer. You respond to this heartbreak by missing the playoffs again. Did I mention the Royals are actually winning? You make the playoffs! And then probably lose in the 1st round to your little brother. A new logo arrives as you try to make a name for yourself in the hockey world. You make the playoffs! And then get swept by the Thunderbirds. Old habits die hard. You won the BC Division! Your hangover from winning the BC Division kicks in early as you get curb stomped by the Winterhawks. Your hangover continues. You miss the playoffs yet again. The Cougars are a definition of a doormat. The only time they get noticed is when you're stepping on them, or if some overly eager salesman tries to shove one in your face. It's weird though how the M's haven't had a turn to kick your teeth in. Maybe that time will come sometime soon.
You know, I sure hope it does.